I know what you're thinking. That is a terrible shirt. Why would anyone wear a green kind of baggy shirt like that in a demo video? And also, that's a Roland SDE-1000. Let's hear it. Pretty lush, right? The SDE-1000 and its better known bigger sibling, the SDE-3000, were really important rack-mounted digital effect units. Pretty straightforward interface compared to a lot of the multi-effects units that came later. You can see it's basically like a Boss pedal mounted with an LCD display, and I say that because Roland later on, a couple of years later, managed to basically cram the main chip from this unit into a standalone delay pedal, the DD2, which was the world's first digital delay pedal. But it all started with the SDE-3000 and the 1000. This had less delay time and the presets stored less information, but from what I'm led to believe, basically the guts are the same as the SDE-3000, so they should pretty much sound the same. You've got controls for your input, feedback, delay amount, and modulation on the front there. They're the knobs, and then you can adjust the delay phase. You can have the feedback loop in or out and the modulation in or out, as well as store 4 onboard presets. And like I said, it just saves the delay time and not the knob position. So, it's useful, but probably not as useful as the SDE-3000, but this was considerably cheaper as well. So this was probably a lot of people's first digital delay. And I'm just gonna do my thing, plug a guitar in, make a bunch of noise, and we'll talk about it as we go. So let's do just that. All right, I've got the SDE in a slightly higher position at the moment. I'm running my Strat into my Axe-Fx 3, and I have this connected in an effects loop, so it's happening after the amp and the cab modeling. We will hear it before everything in a second, so I'll basically be plugging straight into this and using the mix out. At the moment, I'm just using the delay out. This is my clean sound. And let's hear it with the delay kicked in. I've got the feedback and the modulation off, 300 and something milliseconds of delay. Sounds pretty sweet, right? It's that classic 12-bit 80s rack delay thing where because of the limited bandwidth, there's a little bit of low end and a little bit of high end attenuated from the delay signal. So we would interpret that as just kind of sounding warm and pleasant and musical. Let's add some feedback to all of that. I should say as well, there are 4 onboard presets, but unlike the SDE-3000, the big brother, this one only saves the delay times and things like the feedback being engaged and the phase. So for all of these, you have 4 different delay times, but then they're gonna reference the knobs. My understanding is on the 3000, it would save the positions of the knobs as well. And then it was like the 2500 had MIDI or something like that. So yeah, any Roland rack delay experts, let me know if I'm right or wrong in the comments. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's hear this with some feedback. pretty sweet. I do have this hooked up to a volume pedal as well, so I'm going to control the level. Rather than do it on the unit, I'm going to use my foot. So if I was doing a lead thing, I would use less delay blend, something more like this. And then for the rhythmic delay thing, I would want it at a very similar volume to my guitar. Let's add some modulation. I'll just turn the speed up a little bit and the depth up a little bit more. This reminds me, you got to press the mod switch. Now the modulation's going to work. And that's way too much. Let's keep the speed quite low, and the depth around noon seems to work best for my taste. Really sweet modulation, kind of as with any modulation effect. As you turn the speed up, it's probably worthwhile turning the depth down as you go. I really like that setting there. That is gorgeous. I'll just bring the level down a bit with my volume pedal. Let's hear that with some utter filth. Wonderful stuff. I haven't even played around with the delay time yet. There is a button which lets you double the delay time, but what's really interesting is there's a knob on the back which can increase the delay time by 50%. And the knob on the back is interesting because it really audibly degrades the quality and the bandwidth of the delay. So let's have a listen to that. And especially when you've got feedback and modulation on there. So this is with that knob basically on 0, so you're just getting the delay time that you see. If I crank it all the way up to 1.5, that's kind of interesting there. And then if I hit the double time, it's the opposite of what we think of with digital delay. That is not pristine at all. That's lo-fi. There's loads of artifacts in there. It kind of sounds gross. So I'm going to bring the delay time down and play with that tone. I've set the knob on the back to normal, and I've adjusted my delay time. Let's have a listen to the difference in quality again. So with it back there, you can hear the delay is a bit more full-bodied. If I turn the modulation off with this mod button, it sounds like this. And to my ears, with heaps of gain like that, it does have that kind of mid-80s Vi, George Lynch kind of thing, and especially if you're kind of whittling away, it's a really nice musical delay because of that limited bandwidth. It's not totally clashing with your guitar. Because this is a delay with modulation, if we set the delay to a short delay time, say something below 20 or 30 milliseconds, and then bring in the modulation, we can create chorus and flange effects. Furthermore, because there is a phase button on here, we can create some really cool spatial style flanging. But for now, I've got it set to about 20 milliseconds, and there's absolutely no modulation. I'm going to blend the depth and the speed in. Let's have a listen to that. Pretty cool, right? Then if I bring in some feedback, chorus plus feedback, maybe if I go for an even lower delay time, so I kind of get some comb filtering style stuff, I'm gonna have a flange style effect. Where are we at? Whether you like that tone or not, you cannot deny that that is an absolute classic era-specific sound when these units came out, especially the 1000 because it was far more affordable than the 3000. Suddenly, you had access to this amazing technology where you could not only have echoes and chorus and flanging, but you could save some presets and you could mount it in your rack. And if you had two of these, you could create some really wild spatial effects by offsetting the delay times, which a lot of people did. I think Steve Vai used two SDE-1000s. I would not be surprised if there were loads of other players who used say a 1000 or a 3000 for their main delay, and the other one for like their chorus and flanging effects. The fact that you can also kind of time stretch everything with a knob on the back would make this a really useful studio tool as well. You got the ×2 button on there, you got the 1.5 knob on there. You can kind of get some pseudo tape style effects out of it. So that is the Roland SDE-1000. I'm so glad I got to check out one of these because it really is a gorgeous musical sounding delay no matter what you use it on. It's a whole bunch of fun, and the fact that it's just so simple. There's knobs on the front, it gives you immediate visual feedback, makes it really easy to just kind of dial it in, set it, forget it, and play some guitar, which at the end of the day is what it's all about. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you have any comments or suggestions, let me know. Until next time, stay excellent.